Is it plugged in and charging?
It's plugged in, but I might have turned off.
I haven't started it
Just
yet.
so you know.
Okay, so if I don't shut it all the way, it still opens. Okay. You better not say
Good thing
anything.
I really don't.
This is so. I'm so nervous. Like, I don't know why I get nervous. I really don't. Huh?
It's okay.
Okay. I don't know why whatever else acting frozen. Well, we're gonna have to order a new tripod for center field.
Really? Is it broken?
Hmm?
Is it broken?
Oh yeah, because I was bagging and it snapped. So that one's taped shut. But I have to order a new one.
And we bid you good morning, greetings, and salutations from Madeira Beach, Florida, as day two of the spring break trip to Florida rolls on, and Hawkeye softball is on the air on the Hawkeye Radio Network from Learfield today after a 2-0 start to the spring games. Coach Renee Gillespie and her Iowa Hawkeyes with the 13-8 record on the year will take on one of the top teams in the Ivy League, the Princeton Tigers, with a record of 3-7 on the young campaign. Good morning, everyone. Victor Anderson, glad that you're with us from field number 3 of Madeira Beach on a beautiful, clear Saturday morning here in the Sunshine State, where yesterday was all sunshine except for a few rain showers for the Iowa Hawkeyes. Iowa, after having a few days off for travel and for rest, the move paid off as Iowa took 2 wins yesterday. First knocked off South Alabama 4-2 thanks to a 4-run top of the fourth inning, punctuated by a 3-run home run, the first of the season for the second baseman Grace Baines. Jalen Adams picked up the win pitch 6 strong innings, give up an earned run on 4 hits. Delaney Lecker came in, picked up 2 strikeouts to lock down her second save of the season. In the nightcap, it was all Hawkeyes from the start. Brianna Vasquez with 5 shutout innings in a circle, 7 strikeouts. The Hawkeyes jumped on the Mocs early with 6 runs in the first 3 innings, and in spite of brief delay from Mother Nature and other extraneous factors, Iowa picked up the victory 6-0 to improve to 13-8 on the young season. For Princeton, they started their trip to the Sunshine State with a record of 3-7. The Tigers, led by Visa Van Akron, had a tough showing last week in Austin. Played and then number 17 Frank Longhorns a little tough before falling to Texas in extra innings 2-1. The Hawkeyes will be serving as the home team today, wearing the all gold uniforms. Hawkeyes in the black with the white trim. They'll be the home team occupying the third base dugout to our left. Princeton in the road orange with the black numerals and white trim, black pants. They'll be in the first base dugout to our right. So here's the starting lineups for the Princeton Tigers on this Saturday morning. Starks, Ha, Dumais will be in the top of the order. Serena Starks will lead off. She'll play left field. Allison Ha, all Ivy League selection, will hit in the 2-hole. She'll be in right field. And Julia Dumais, she'll play third base and will hit in the 3-hole. Shane Jackson Sablone in the middle of the order. Adrian Chang will be the designated player hitting cleanup. Grace Jackson, she'll hit short. She'll hit fifth and play short. Lauren Sablone, she'll play center, wear number 6 and hit 6. Marcelo Bade McDonald, bottom of the order for Princeton. Sophia Marcelo, she'll play first. She'll hit 7th. Kate Beatty, she'll play second, hitting 8th. Ashley McDonald will do the catching and hit 9th for the Princeton Tigers. For your Iowa Hawkeyes, as you see Vienna Vasquez coming out in the circles, will likely need to get a beam back from the Iowa dugout. In the outfield, it will be Echo Mattiello in left, Tatiana Roman in center, Nia Carter in right. Around the infield, Sammy Diaz at first, Grace Baines at second, Troy Bennett at short, Avery Jackson once again getting to start at third. Behind the plate during the catching for your Hawkeyes will be Skyline Fogg. And in the circle, Brianna Vasquez. Brianna with her third straight strong performance. Mentioned yesterday going 5 shutout innings versus Chattanooga. Now in the year, Vasquez a stellar 5-1 record with a 1.67 ERA. 42 innings pitched, 24 hits, 12 runs, 10 earned, walked 17, struck out 44. Opponents are hitting 164 against Bree. And talking with Coach Gillespie last night, she has really returned back to form and made her such a stellar performer in her freshman year at UCF before having a bit of a rocky road and then last season transferring over to reunite with Coach Gillespie here in Iowa. Hawkeyes this year in the Sunshine State, 6-1. Looking to make it 7-1 versus Princeton, and we'll try and make it 8-1 later on today as they take on Lehigh. A picturesque Saturday morning here in Madeira Beach. Temperature is about mid-70s. Expected to be clear skies, and by the way, chances of rain at 2%. We were hoping to be without rain yesterday, then the fifth inning happened, and well, we all know what happened after that. So we're set to go. First pitch from Vasquez is outside for a striker. We are on the way on this Saturday afternoon. First pitch at 10:22. Got a ball behind home plate. We just saw. We'll get back going. Serena Starks leading things off for the Tigers. Down 0-1. Swings away, and that one will sail outside right field fence. On field number 2, makes the count 0-2. Princeton as a team in his young season hitting .243. Starks hitting .286, 3 RBIs to her credit. Vasquez has been working ahead of his hard ground ball in. Jackson go over to Diaz at first, and down goes Starks on the 5-3. One down in the Princeton first. So one away, here comes Allison Ha. Expected to have another big season for Princeton in 2023 and leads the Tigers in all statistical categories, but soft liner back to Vasquez, and down she goes on one pitch, 2 quick outs for the California Hawkeye in the first. Julia DeMace will step in for Princeton. Julia hitting .233, no home runs, 3 runs driven in. She swings at the first pitch, dives it, gets past Baines, and DeMace with the 2-out single. The 2 hits Vasquez gave up last night versus Chattanooga both came with 2 out. And DeMace gets that one to go through, and the inning will continue for Princeton as Adrian Chain, the DP, will step in. Chang second in the Tigers an inning, hitting .303, 4 runs driven in. Takes the first pitch for strike 1. Lisa Van Akron in her 11th season at the helm of the Princeton Tigers. High fly balls and foul ground, and Mattiello makes the catch going back towards the left field line, and that will retire the Tigers. So once again, Vasquez gives up a 2-out single, but leaves that runner stranded. No runs on 1 hit, 1 Tiger left on base. Half inning completed. Hawkeyes will come to the plate as they will. Now will take on the veteran for Princeton, Alexis Loudenslager. And here's the lineup penned out by Coach Renee Gillespie on this Saturday morning. It'll be Carter, Roman Bennett leading off. Nia Carter, now a holder of a 7-game hitting streak and 13-game on-base streak, leading off. Tatiana Roman will hit in the 2-hole. Troy Bennett will play short. She'll hit third. Lecker, Diaz, Baines, middle of the order. Natalie Lecker hitting cleanup as the DP. Sammy Diaz, who had the RBI single versus USA, she'll hit fifth. And Sammy Baines, who had her 3-run home run in that very same game. In the fourth inning, she will hit 6. Jackson, Fogue, and Mattiello, 7, 8, 9. Avery Jackson starting at the hot corner. She'll hit 7. Skyline Fogue will start behind the plate. She'll hit 8th. And Echo Mattiello will play left and hit in the 9 hole for your Iowa Hawkeyes. Defensively for Princeton, in the outfield, Serena Starks will be in left. In center field will be Lawrence Sablone. And in right field, Allison Howe. Around the infield, Sophia Masalo will be at first. Second base will be manned by Kate Bate. Kate Bate over at short will be Grace Jackson. Juliette Dumas will be at third. Ashley McDonald behind the plate during the catching. In the circle for the Tigers, wearing number 77, Alexis Loudenslager, comes in this year with a 1-4 record with a 2.60 ERA. 29 and 2/3 innings of work, 27 hits, 12 runs, 11 earned, walked 9, struck out 38 opponents, batting .231 against her. Knocked around in her last appearance versus Tennessee State on March the 5th. Last Friday, gave up 3 runs and 3 hits in 2 1/3 innings of work, walked 1 and struck out 5 in that game as Princeton had to come from behind to beat Tennessee State 6-5. She gave up 3 of those runs in the 3rd inning. Actually got chased out of the game as Brio Wright had to come in, pitch the final 5 2/3 innings, and picked up the victory. Here comes Nia Carter leading off for the Hawkeyes. 7-game hitting streak from Nia. Little jam shot, and she'll make it 8 straight games with a base hit. Little jam shot in between Jackson and Sablone, and Nia Carter wasting little time extending that hitting streak. Now with an 8-game hitting streak, has now reached safely in 14 straight games, the longest for any Hawkeyes so far this season. She was tied with Delaney Lecker, who had a 13-game streak of reaching base safely. So once again, the Hawkeyes getting the leadoff hitter on. Here comes Tatiana Roman. Roman hitting .348, 6 RBIs. Roman takes the bunt high and outside, ball 1. Roman yesterday, and those 2 victories went 2 for 6, increased that average to .348. Shows bunt and takes the strike on the inner 3rd. Coach Renee Gillespie really proud of how her team performed yesterday. There goes Carter. Ball is low. Throw to second, and they got her. Right throw by McDonald behind the plate, and Jackson with the tag, throwing out Nia Carter. And now Coach Gillespie will readjust the strategy with Roman, with Carter being thrown out. The count is 2 balls and a strike with Roman at the plate. Bases clear and 1 out in the bottom of the 1st. On the Slacker gets the sign. Rocks and sends. Hard and inside pitch. Gets a swing and a miss for strike 2. Princeton went down in order in the top of the 1st thanks to Brianna Vasquez. Tapped someone past Coach Gillespie outside her position at 3rd. Laudenslager, 5'10" senior from San Diego, California. That one will be popped up, and that one will land in the field number 2. Hawkeyes had that problem when they were on the middle field yesterday in their 2 games. Total about 9 foul balls between the 2 fields, 1 and 3 coming over where the Hawkeyes were. Now the Hawkeyes will be the ones depositing Foul balls over to our left is it. Down low and outside into the full count. The reigning Ivy League pitcher of the year for the Tigers on the in the circle. Another 3-2. That one gets fouled over the Hawkeye dugout along the third base line. Lana Slager looking for her first win since beating Elon on February the 24th in their opening weekend, which she recorded a complete game one hit shutout with 11 strikeouts. And another good at bat from Roman. And that one gets fouled off again, and we'll do it all again, 3-2. Roman really has been working in that 2 spot behind Carter. Had some tremendous at bats yesterday. Picked up a hit in each game. The Hawkeyes won. Another 3-2 offer coming. Swing and a miss. Roman goes down swinging. 2 down for shortstop Troy Bennett. Bennett coming into today hitting .318, 8 RBIs. Bennett with a solid afternoon yesterday over at short defensively. Picked up a hit in that win versus Chattanooga. Scored a run in that game as well. Takes that on outside, ball 1. Tigers and Hawkeyes scoreless in the bottom of the first. Catches it down the bottom outside corner to the right-hander. Two down, bottom of the first, no score. Nice crowd in attendance this morning here in Madeira Beach. Down low and outside for ball. Two balls, 1 strike to Bennett. Slager trying to get the Hawkeyes in order, although not in 3 up, 3 down fashion. Carter got a leadoff single, but got cut down trying to steal second on a great throw behind the plate from McDonald. Three balls, 1 strike. Bennett was area to head to first, but a late strike call makes the count full 3-2. Lana Slager looking to pick up her second straight strikeout to retire the Hawkeyes in the bottom of the first. And it grips the bat. Here comes the 3-2. A little number just toward, right on deck, and Delaney Lecker. And right behind her is Sammy Diaz. So the count stays 3 balls and 2 strikes. And he had a hard inside pitch. Bennett with a kind of defensive swing, but she goes down swinging. So the Hawkeyes get the leadoff single from Carter. Gets the race on caught stealing. Can't do anything after that. No runs on 1 hit. No Hawkeyes left. Inning complete. On a Saturday morning in Madeira Beach. Hawkeyes and Tigers scoreless. This is Iowa softball from Learfield. Back in Madeira Beach is going to the top of inning number 2. Hawkeyes and Tigers scoreless. Victor Anderson, glad that you're with us on this Saturday morning. Part of a busy day of action here on the Hawkeye Radio Network from Learfield. Baseball after a rough first night in Lubbock. We'll be back on the diamond later on this afternoon at 2 o'clock first pitch. Of course, again, you can watch the game on ESPN Plus. Of course, make sure you sync the video stream and listen to the game on the Hawkeye Radio Network with John and John Leo and John Evans having a call for you from Lubbock, Texas. Jackson, Sablon, and Marcelo coming up for the Tigers. Jackson ahead 1-0. Now one down inside. Princeton, the reigning Ivy League champions, the second straight NCAA tournament team the Hawkeyes have faced here in Madeira Beach. They shut out Chattanooga last night 6-0, who won the Southern championship last year. Vasquez gets the strike to make the count 2-1. Jackson hitting 276 with an RBI. Swings and misses, and Vasquez levels the count 2-2. Blue skies right in front of us. We are directly in front of one of the bays here in Madeira Beach. And Vasquez battles back into being down 0-2 to pick up a first strikeout. One down here in the top of the second. And I'll bring up Lawrence Sablon, the center fielder. Sablon is greeted with a strike on the inside half from Vasquez. Sablon this year hitting 226 with 3 RBIs. Lisa Van Akron, coach of the Tigers in her 11th season at the helm. She is already the 3rd winningest coach in program history. 169 wins entering this weekend in Florida. Led the Tigers to 3 NCAA tournaments in her tenure, including last year when they won the Ivy League, when they went 27-17-2. Won the Ivy League Championship Series. Van Akron, a 4-time Patriot League Player of the Year, Pitcher of the Year for Lehigh, who the Hawkeyes will play next. And that's a foul ball. Head off the foot of Sablon. She'll do it all again. Coach started her career coaching as a volunteer assistant at her alma mater. Then came over to Penn for 2 seasons as an assistant coach and became the head coach in Princeton in 2013. Led the Tigers to back-to-back NCAA tournaments in 2016-2017. And got them back to the postseason last year. 2-2 to blown. Vasquez gets the sign on the pitch card on the left shoulder and sends it in. Little jam shot, easy play for Troy Bennett. And there are 2 down in the Princeton second. And it takes for a strike for Sofia Marcelo. Marcelo stepping in, hitting in the 7th spot this morning for Iowa. Takes that offering from Vasquez way up in his zone. Count is even on the ball and the strike. Marcelo off to a Tough start this year, 2 for 27. Does have 2 RBIs. Nice breaking ball from Vasquez down below the knees and inside. 2 balls and a strike. 2 outs in the top of the second. No score. Now one puts it over for a strike count, even 2-2. Hawkeyes had a lot of that family come over to the team hotel last night after their 2 victories. And plenty were following along with baseball before things got out of hand in Lubbock. And Vasquez picks up the strikeout, and down go the Tigers in order. Vasquez back on the strikeout train with a pair of Ks. 3 up, 3 down, go the Tigers. We'll head to the bottom of the second. Iowa and Princeton scoreless. You're listening to Hawkeye Softball from Learfield.
Victor. It's Corey. Not
I don't know
Cole.
why. And I literally voted on it too.
And then
Is it
and then it's Denali.
Denali? That's what I thought. Denali.
Yeah.
I got the last name right.
Yeah.
I know when I do an ask them how to pronounce your last name, I say take out the
Yep.
yeah, I got it.
That's one of the last names in the fall when I was writing the recaps. I'm like, every time I'm like Loucker. Like I did say it each time.
First of 2 games this afternoon for the Hawkeyes. They'll be in action after this one as they will take on the Coach Van Akron's alma mater, Lehigh, the 3rd straight conference champion. The Hawkeyes will face here in Madeira Beach. We hope that you will join us. Have a side-by-side with Iowa baseball. We'll be playing along at the same hour later versus Texas Tech and Lubbock. 4, 5, 6 coming up for the Hawkeyes. Lecker, Diaz, and Baines. Victor Anderson, glad you're with us. Directly behind home plate. First pitch to Denali is low and outside for ball 1. Lecker stepping in, hitting .284, 5 home runs, 23 RBIs. Made her contributions in the circle yesterday for the Hawkeyes. Picked up a save in their win versus South Alabama. Pitched 2 shutout innings in relief of Vasquez in a shutout victory versus Chattanooga. Lecker stepping in. Looks intently over Lonnie Slager. Ready for the 1-1 offering to start the Iowa second. Lecker will flip over Dumaze at third, but foul. We'll take a look around the Big Ten at the end of this half inning from Madeira Beach on what is a gorgeous day. See a bow of maybe a few Hawkeye fans sailing by beyond left field. The 1-2. Good breaking ball. Just missed the target on the outside corner. 2 balls, 2 strikes. And Ali Lecker leading off the inning for the Hawkeyes. I guess the Ivy League Pitcher of the Year. And she goes down swinging. Three straight strikeouts after giving up the leadoff single. And you can see why. The senior from San Diego, Alexis Leidenslager, was the Ivy League Pitcher of the Year last year. Here comes Sammy Diaz. Diaz takes the first pitch away, ball one. Sammy reached base 4 times in the 2 games yesterday. Went 2 for 3 in that win versus South Alabama. Reached twice on the airs versus Chattanooga. Sammy this year now hitting 246, so the home run and 9 driven in. Takes that one up and in. Diaz solidifying things over at first base for Coach Gillespie. That was up and inside. Another hard pitch by Layden Slager. Needs to count 2-1. Layden Slager last 3-0 to count, excuse me. Layden Slager, the only pitcher in the Ivy League last year to finish top 3 in the Triple Crown categories, wins, strikeouts, and ERA. Finished second in with a 2.24 ERA. That's inside for a strike. Second in strikeouts with 138 and finished third in wins with 11. This after only making her season debut, only pitching 2 times last in 2021. Down low at the leads. Sablon wondering where that missed from center field. The umpire says it goes low. And Diaz with the walk. So now comes Grace Baines. Haynes had a great day yesterday. Had that 3-run home run versus South Alabama. Went 2 for 7. Now hitting 288 on the year with 9 RBIs. First pitch to Baines is outside corner, strike 1. Baines, someone who doesn't do too much grinning, but that grin was from here to I-4 when she was trotting those bases after that home run. And she may have another one here. Beckner starts to left. And that one goes off the screen, off the top of the foul pole. Diaz had to hold up. She slides into third, and Baines just missed her second home run in as many days. But will have to settle for a 1-out double. That ball just hit down the bottom of the yellow line aligning the fence. So instead of having her second home run of the year in many days, she'll have to settle for her second double of the year. So second and third for the Hawkeyes. Here comes Avery Jackson. That was high and away, ball 1. Jackson hitting a .155, 1 home run, 10 driven in. Had a couple solid at-bats despite going hitless yesterday. You will love, if you're Avery, to pick up a base hit here to pick up Diaz and Baines to get the Hawkeyes on the board first. She takes that for a strike, count even 1-1. Hawkeyes this year, 12-2 when they played the first tally. Looking to do that once again here this morning. Diaz at third, Baines at second. Jackson tries to squeeze, and it's a foul ball. Princeton had Dumaze and Marcello charging in, anticipating that squeeze. 1-2 to Avery Jackson. Taking a deep breath before she steps in the right-handed box. Hops that one up. That one will sail just over directly behind us where South Alabama is playing on field number 2. So we'll do it all again. Third, one out for the Hawkeyes, trying to strike first against the Ivy League Pitcher of the Year. Jackson sends that the other way. It goes off foul off the fence in right field. Jackson just trying to find something she can poke in the outfield. Trying to get it deep enough to bring home Diaz from third. And she smashes that one foul. And Jackson straightens that one out. That could have gone fair. That might have gone in the water. Beyond left field. Mini water fountain, mini water park just beyond left center. Count remains 1 ball, 2 strikes. And that goes up the middle. That'll get the Hawkeyes on the board. Diaz will score. Baines around third. She comes up standing up. Ball pops over to the catcher. Jackson tries to go to second, and she's in there. Head first slide, beating the tag from Jackson. 2-run single for Avery Jackson. Puts Hawkeyes on the board, 2-0. You had a feeling that it was due time for Avery to come through, and she does just that. A 2-run single, advancing to second on the throw. 2-0 Iowa lead. Allen Pogue takes that down low, ball 1. Scowling got the start in game 1 of the Twin Bill yesterday versus South Alabama. That one goes out, takes that outside for ball 2. And timeout will be called, and that will warrant a trip to the circle for Princeton head coach Lisa Van Akkeren, who's also doing the pitch calling for the Tigers on this Saturday morning. Hawkeyes off to a great start once again. Avery Jackson with the 2-run single on at second after advancing on the throw. Having a little chit chat with Scowlin as she returns back from her meeting with Coach Gillespie and Ego Mattiello and Avery Jackson. The respective meetings have been dismissed, and we are reset for play here in Madeira Beach. Hawkeyes up 2-0 on a 2-run single by Avery Jackson. 2-0 count to Fogue with Mattiello waiting on deck. Slager gets that one foul, and that one will... Ooh, that was close. Almost caught somebody over on field 2 with South Alabama. Oh, we'll love to bring home a run here and make it 3-0. Instead, got a ball hard in and down from Alexis Laudenslager. Out even, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Hawkeyes up 2-0 in the bottom of the second. Checks her swing. Jackson was running on the pitch. She goes over to third. They're gonna appeal as if she went. They say no swing. So Jackson moves over to third, 3 balls and 2 strikes. Big deep breath for Laudenslager. sends the payoff home, and it's low. And 4 straight Hawkeyes have reached after the strikeout to Lecker to lead off the inning. So Hawkeyes on the corners and brings up Echo Mattiello. Echo this year hitting .214, 3 RBIs. Chance for her to bring home a run. Sablon shifting over to left center. So they're giving Echo a big hole up the middle. Lays down a squeeze. To home, and Jackson safe. Jackson got the right hand on the bag. Now they got Fogan a run down. Throw over to third. They'll tag her out. Mattiello advances over to second, so the squeeze play works. Jackson got that right hand on the outside of home plate, avoiding the McDonald tag. And the Hawkeyes pick up another run. It is 3-0. Back to the top of the order, and Nia Carter. So 2 down. Mattiello at second. Carter extended her hitting streak to 8 straight on the single that blooped between Jackson and Sablon in the first. Eventually got thrown out at second. That's down low and outside again. So the scoring on that previous play, Mattiello with the fielder's choice, driving home the run. Vogue advanced to second, and she's out on the play, 6-4 to 1. Mattiello advancing again to second. And Jackson takes a called strike. Carter with that single in the first, extended her reach base streak to 14 straight games, longest for any Hawkeye in this month into the season. Trying to pick up Mattiello at second. Ball bounced low into the righty box to the lefty Carter. Two to count. Got 2 down in the bottom of the second. Hawkeyes already with 3 runs on the board. Two. Carter will loop that one over Dumays and Jackson. Not much foul room, not much foul territory to work with in Madeira Beach. So anything that is hit high and over your head, you maybe have 5 steps at best before that carries out of play. Especially with the Gulf breeze blowing in. Cal State's 2 balls and 2 strikes to Carter. Carter, a little chopper. Burson. Hard attack by Marcelo. Attacks out Carter on the left side, and that ends the Hawkeyes' second, but not before the Hawkeyes play 3 in the cross of the inning. 3 runs on 2 hits, no errors, and a Hawkeye left on base. We'll head to the top of the third. Iowa 3, Princeton nothing. This is Hawkeye softball from Learfield. We go to the top of the third as we see Kate Beatty leading things off for the Tigers. It'll be 8, 9, and 1 coming up from Princeton. Bade, McDonald, and Starks. Top of the third, 3 versus 3. Hawkeyes with a 3-0 lead in their third game in Madeira Beach. Victor Anderson, glad that you're with us. As we go past 12 o'clock local time here in the Sunshine State, glad that you're with us on the Hawkeye Radio Network from Learfield on a gorgeous Saturday afternoon on the west coast of Florida. Brianna Vasquez has been picking up where she's left off, and now will line into center field. And Kate Bade with the leadoff single for the Tigers. First base hit this weekend allowed by Vasquez that did not come with 2 outs. And the first time a leadoff hitter has reached against Vasquez this weekend. Here comes Ashley McDonald, the catcher, rounding out the Princeton lineup. That was inside. She was showing, but at the impromptu Michael Jackson get the guy on the tippy toes to avoid that Vasquez delivery inside. McDonald coming in 1 of 15 this year, making her 9th start. Outside, 2 balls, no strikes. Princeton this year 3-7 on the young season. Tigers had a hard-fought 8-inning loss to Liberty, the 2-time A-Sun champions. Lost 1-0 to McNeese State. Lost in extra innings to Tennessee State. Lost 2-1 to Texas. Throw to second. And it's at a safe. Throw was a bit high. Bade got a good jump. And she'll end up at second in scoring position. Count 2-1. Hops that one up, and that one will sail on the field too, where Iona and South Alabama are doing battle. Made second stolen base in 3 attempts this year. Princeton as a team now 75% success rate, 15 of 20 in stolen bases. Pops it up. Baines will make the catch behind the circle, and Vasquez for out number 1. So we return back to the top of the order, and Serena Starks. Starks grounded out to Jackson to start our game this morning. Just after 12 o'clock local time, 11 o'clock here in Iowa City. They'll appeal to first. They appeal and say that Starks did not offer. Now 1-0. Vasquez sends to 1-0, again offering a bunt. It's 2 balls and no strikes. Iowa leading 3-0 in the top of the third. Kate Bade over at second for Serena Starks. And Vasquez looking for her fourth straight victory. Chopper back to Jackson. Bade has to hold at second. Just say that Diaz kept that foot on the back, but that was close, and we'll have a conversation over at first base. Princeton saying that Diaz's foot was off the bag, and saw assistant coach Alyssa Davis was talking with the umpire. It's not that Davis' foot was off the bag, but Davis kept the outside of the foot on the bag long enough on that throw from Jackson. So Starks again retired 5-3. Bay has to stay at second. 2 down for Allison Ha. Uh, First pitch line out to Vasquez. This at bat, first pitch takes for a strike. Hall last year hit 328, 2 home runs, 18 driven in. Hall was a first team Ivy League selection last year. Led the league in doubles with 14 a year ago. A tremendous rookie campaign for the Simi Valley, California product. Opportunity here with the count 1-1, 2 down. And that one will sail foul and it will land just in front of the. Nope, will bounce one hop in front of the tennis slash pickleball courts over to our right. So the count is 1-2. Vasquez trying to strand the runner at second. And we'll do it all again. Another foul ball going over the tennis courts. You got two tennis courts and a basketball court in the middle here at ROC Park. It's hosting spring games now for the last 4 years, and I've done a tremendous job of bringing college softball here to the west coast of Florida. Another 1-2. This is inside. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Ha versus Vasquez. Bait at second. Vasquez trying to keep this a 3-run Iowa lead in the third. Ha to left. That one will slice and go just foul past Mattiello and left. Went foul, but went foul not by much. Ha put a good charge into that, but just barely sailed out of reach of Mattiello and foul ground. So we will do it again, 2-2. Vasquez lines that one right there is Roman. She thought she had to dive for it, but the ball hung just enough. Roman made the catch on the line drive, and that will end the threat for Princeton. So Princeton gets their first runner in scoring position, but Vasquez leaves her stranded at second. No runs on a hit, 1 Tiger left on base. 2.5 in the books at Madeira Beach. Hawkeyes 3, Tigers nothing. This is Iowa softball from Learfield.
Already? I have one. You can have it.
Alright, what's up?
Want to sit in the shade?
Let's go. I am sweating. Why are you tired? I'm just always
On now to the bottom of the third in Madeira Beach. Hawkeyes leading Princeton 2-0. It'll be Tatiana Roman, Tori Bennett, and Denali Lecker coming up. As they'll go back to work to take on Alexis Loudenslager. Victor Anderson, glad as you're with us at ROC Park in Madeira Beach, Florida. You hear the wind behind us. But otherwise, a gorgeous afternoon here in Florida. 11 after 12 local time. For another full day of action here on the Hawkeye Radio Network from Learfield. We'll take a look around at the Big Ten during this half inning. Roman chops that one right in front of McDonald, but foul. We'll give you a look at the games going on in progress right now. Ohio State beat Houston Christian 5-4. Number 25 Maryland beating Ball State 7-2 there in the fifth there. Wisconsin beating Texas State 4-3. That game in Austin as part of the Bevo Classic as Roman falls behind 1-2. Top 5 Indiana beating Evansville 7-0. Sacred Heart in Maryland will play after Maryland finishes their affair with Ball State. Ohio State will take on Canisius later on this afternoon. Yale and Michigan State just underway. They are scoreless in the top of the first. Slow grounder back to Laudenslager. Makes the toss to Marsalo for out number 1. Now comes Torrey Bennett to the plate for the Hawkeyes with 1 down in the third. And then one of three straight strikeouts Laudenslager had between the first and the second. And then part of a very talented freshman class that has come to coach Renee Gillespie in her 5th season at the helm of the Hawkeyes. And talking with Coach Gillespie a little bit last night, it feels like this could be one of the teams that maybe gets Iowa back to the top half of the Big Ten, the conference that got 5 teams into the NCAA tournament last year. Currently have 3 teams, ranked 4 teams, 3 or 4 teams, depending on what publication you use for your top 25 ranked, with Northwestern, Nebraska, Maryland, and Michigan ranked in some polls. Penn State also getting some consideration. That's who Iowa will start Big Ten play against in 2 weeks. That's a hard shot by Benemo going to left center field for a 1-out single. Torrey made great contact on that offering on the inside half of the plate and gets awarded with the single. Here comes Tanani Lecker. That goes outside for a called strike. Lecker high in the air, left center field, at the track, at the wall, and that will hang up long enough for Sablone to make the catch. Dr. Nally just hit her 6th home run of the year, but again, that ball hung up long enough in the air for Sablone to make the catch. So 2 away, up comes Sammy Diaz. Diaz walked and scored on the Avery Jackson 2-run single in the second. Takes that high and away. Pick out over to first. Diaz talked about those two out base hits she had versus South Alabama. Bob buried in front of McDonald. Bennett scoots over to second. So now an opportunity for Sammy to get a chance to bring home Bennett and extend the Iowa lead in the bottom of the third. Hawkeyes up 3-0. Looking for their 3rd straight win here in Madeira Beach. Gets that forward strike. Coach Gillespie giving the team a few days off after a long trip to Arkansas. They didn't arrive back in Iowa City to Monday after their initial flight got canceled and had to stay overnight in Atlanta. Coach Gillespie gave the team the rest of the week off to rest up, and knowing that they had to travel back to Florida. Traveled, had to practice Thursday and came out yesterday with great focus, great performances up and down the lineup, and their pitching picked up 2 huge wins and on their way to another one here. 2-2, good take up high from Sammy Diaz, and it's a full count. Grace Baines would hit if Diaz can extend the Iowa third. 3 balls and 2 strikes. On a Slager trying to end the inning and leave Bennett stranded at second. Instead, she misses inside ball 4 and set the stage for Baines. Third walk issued by Layden Slager and Layden Slager in the last 2 innings. Now up comes Grace Baines. And out ball on field 2 landed on directly on top of the 10 right where we are. We didn't realize it until you saw the ball fall down behind us. Baines just missed a home run. Got a double in the second. Baines gets on through the light side. Bennett has to stay. Ball was bobbled to left field, and that will allow Tori Bennett to score. So Starks had it, mishandled it, and comes home to score. Makes it 4-0 Iowa. And it looks like that will be the end of the day for Alexis Laudenslager. And we will have a change for Princeton. So we'll go. So Princeton will go to the bullpen. We'll tell you about the new pitcher after this. Hawkeyes up 4-0 and pushing for more. When we come back, as Iowa softball from Learfield. Back at Madeira Beach, Brio Wright will take over in the circle for Alexis Laudenslager. The freshman right, left-hander from Rockland, California, will come on and take over, similar to what she had to do versus Tennessee State last week. Wright this season, 1-1 and making her 7th appearance, all of them in relief. ERA of 2.57. She's pitched 16 in the 3rd innings. Walked 10, struck out 12. Allowed 8 runs and 6 earned on 11 hits. Opponents batting .208 against her. Ryan Adams, we referenced versus Tennessee State, went 5 2/3 innings. Gave up 3 hits, 2 runs, 1 earned. Walked 4, struck out 6, and an extra inning victory in the Battle of the Tigers. And she'll face Avery Jackson with 2 on and 2 out in the bottom of the 3rd. Hawkeyes up 4-0. Jackson takes that one low and away, ball 1. Unofficial final line for Laudenslager. She goes 2 2/3. 5 hits, 4 runs, 3 earned, 3 walks, 2 strikeouts. 3 walks, 3 strikeouts, excuse me. Jackson fouls that one straight back off the screen. 67 pitches, 41 strikes. Diaz and Baines are her responsibility. Diaz at second, Baines on at first. Jackson hits that in the air to right center. Sablon is there. She will make the catch. And that will end the inning for the Hawkeyes. But they pick up another run on the Baines single and the Starks air to bring home the 4th run for Iowa. 1 run on 2 hits, 1 air, 2 left on base. We're through 3 in Madeira Beach. Hawkeyes 4, Tigers nothing. This is Iowa softball from Learfield.
So you like this, and it was like this, and you took no change. Yeah, and then you took no change. Thank you.
Top of the 4th here in Madeira Beach. Hawkeyes leading Princeton 4-0. Victor Anderson back here with you at RLC Park. Julia Dumace will lead things off for the Tigers. She'll be followed by Adrian Chang and Grace Jackson. As Brianna Vasquez goes back to work. First pitch is hard, high and inside, ball 1. 4 runs, 5 hits, no errors for the Hawkeyes. They've left 3. No runs, 2 hits, 1 error for the Tigers. They've left a pair. Hawkeyes have scored in each of the last 2 innings, including a 3 spot in the second. Goes off the tight inning, right over to our left. Vasquez this afternoon, picking up right where she left off yesterday versus Chattanooga in her previous 2 starts versus Omaha and Alcorn State. Vasquez allowed 2 hits, no walks, and 2 strikeouts this afternoon. Popped up, it'll be Diaz. Calling up Baines, 1 down. Resetting the Hawkeyes defense for you in Florida. In the outfield, Nia Carter will be in center. Nia Carter will be in right. Roman will be in center. Mattiello will be in left. Around the infield, Jackson, Bennett, Baines, and Diaz from 3rd to 1st. Foe behind the plate doing the catching. First pitch liner, that'll split in between Bennett and Roman. It'll roll off the base of the fence, and Adrian Chang will roll into second, sliding with a 1-out double. So Adrian Chang knocks in the double, and Coach Van Akron will have a pinch runner come in for Princeton, trying to cut this deficit down. And it'll be Courtney Harrison, the freshman, will pinch run. So Harrison will pinch run, the freshman from Lorton, Virginia, for Chang. And I'll bring up Grace Jackson, the shortstop. Jackson, one of those 2 Brianna Vasquez strikeouts she recorded, both of them coming in the second. Gets it down outside edge for a called strike. 0-1. Vasquez looking to equal her win total from all of last season with the W today. Went 6-13 last year. She's 5-1 already. Taps down one, falls into shallow left field. And the Tigers are in business with first and third. And one out here in the fourth. So Jackson, little tap goes past Jackson and Bennett into shallow left field. And the Tigers with their first significant threat on Vasquez this afternoon. And Lawrence Sablone will come to the plate. That's a foul tip and fortunate break for fortunate break for Iowa as Jackson was running. Hawkeyes up 4-0 here in the top of the fourth. Princeton knocking at the door of plating their first run. Courtney Harrison, the pinch runner at third. Grace Jackson with a single on at first. Jackson not in motion there, and Brianna Vasquez is ahead 0-2. Sablone steps in, batting from the right side. Vasquez with the 0-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. Picks up the strikeout. Third strikeout for Vasquez. 2 down. And I'll bring up Sofia Marsalo. Marsalo struck out versus Vasquez to end the second. See, they send Jackson in motion to take out the fourth. She does go. Throw to second, and they got her on a beautiful tag by Bennett and a great throw by Fogue, and that ends the rally for Princeton. Fogue threw it right at where Bennett was going to be. She got the ball, applied the tag on the left shoulder to Jackson to throw her out. And that ends the threat for Princeton. No runs, 2 hits. 1 Tiger left on base at the halfway mark on this Saturday in Madeira Beach. Hawkeyes maintain their lead 4-0. This is Iowa softball from Learfield. Change defensively for Princeton. Lauren Pappert will come on to catch for Ashley McDonald. She'll be due up third for Princeton in the top of the fifth. Hawkeyes leading 4-0. And speaking of catchers, it'll be the Hawkeyes catcher, Skyland Fogue, who cut down Grace Jackson, trying to steal second to end the top half of the inning, leading off here in the bottom half of the fourth. 8-9-1 coming up for Iowa. Fogue, Mattiello, and Carter. If any of them reach, you'll bring up Roman. Goes outside, ball 1. Brielle Wright, her first full inning of work in relief of Alexis Audenslager, whose day in Madeira Beach against Iowa is officially in the books after that fly out by Jackson to end the third. We'll give you those numbers shortly. It's outside, ball 2. Wright's official, Audenslager's official line, 2 2/3, 5 hits, 4 runs, 3 earned, 3 walks, 3 strikeouts, 67 pitches, and is on the hook for the loss if the Tigers cannot come back in the next few innings. That's down low once again. 3-0 to count to Skyland. Walked back in a second. And she shoots that through the 5-6 hole on the left side of the infield, and Skyland Fogg will lead off single to start off the Hawkeye fourth. And similar to what we saw yesterday versus Chattanooga, everybody in the lineup has made contributions to this performance so far today. And it brings up the left fielder, Echo Mattiello. Echo had an RBI on the fielder's choice in that 3-run second inning for the Hawkeyes. Mattiello lays down a bunt. Wright bobbles it, and she has no play. Wright never really had control of it. And by the time she didn't even bother to try and make a play to over to first. So first and second, nobody out. The Princeton infield will have their own conference. Mattiello credited with a single and with a bunt single off of Wright. And a big opportunity for Coach Gillespie and her team as the top of the order will come up with Carter and Roman. This is what Coach Gillespie was hoping for when she gave her team the week off before their trip to Florida. Had a practice on Thursday, and what Coach Gillespie admitted was not one of the best practices of the year, but you couldn't tell that the way they played yesterday. Scoring 10 runs and a pair of victories versus South Alabama and the defending Southern Conference champion Chattanooga Mocs, and they lead the Ivy League champ Princeton Tigers 4-0. And pushing for more with the first 2 on. Carter at the plate. Oh, nice stop behind the plate by the new catcher, Pappert. Right, looks over the pitch card on the right shoulder, spins the ball and delivers from the left side. Carter, and a nice catch on a line drive to go over to second. They'll get the double play. Dumais, snow cone in, hugging the third base line, and threw a strike over the second to double up Skyland Fogg. And so a tough double play for the Hawkeyes. And that might be a play to turn the tide into favor of the Tigers. So 2 down for Tatiana Roman. Roman hitless in 2 at-bats today. Struck out in the first. Grounded up back to Laudenslager in the third. One is up. Happer trying to attempt to throw at Mattiello. Couldn't get a grip on the ball in that left hand. And Mattiello with the swipe of second. It's her first attempt at a steal this season, and it's successful. Roman sees that one get painted on the outside half for a called strike. 2 balls, 1 strike to the 2-hole hitter for the Hawkeyes. Mattiello on at second. Iowa up 4-0, bottom 4 here in Madeira Beach. Foul hit goes off the foul pole, and Bennett was like, hey, I'm good. I'm sure Tori Bennett will have a few words for Tati back at the team hotel about that one. Count is even 2-2. Ground ball over to third. Dumais to Mattiello. And that will end the inning. So the Hawkeyes get back-to-back base hits to start the frame, but can't push anything home. No runs on 2 hits, 1 left on base. 4 innings complete on Madeira Beach, Iowa 4. Princeton nothing. You're listening to Hawkeye Softball on Learfield.
Guess what I can do tomorrow? No betting account. Just with my family. It's a fun one.
Oh, that's
Ooh. Hey, we should create like a stat group for like the March Madness tournament, and I'll follow benefit. Would you be down? You're invited too. I'll put Iowa Star.
we did it for volleyball. Like,
4's in for 1.
thank you.
Top of the fifth inning, we will have a pinch hitter. Lauren Murphy, the senior from Richmond, Virginia, will pinch hit for Marsalo in the 7th slot. So it will be Murphy, Bade, and Pappert taking on Brianna Vasquez. Victor Anderson back with you here at ROC Park at Madeira Beach, Florida. Hawkeyes leading 4-0. And Vasquez pitching and some clutch hitting for the Hawkeyes have made this lead stand up so far today. 4 runs, 7 hits, no errors for the Hawkeyes. No runs, 4 hits, and air for Princeton. And Vasquez continuing to pound home those strikes. Vasquez now 51 pitches. 35 for strikes. Has only allowed 4 hits, no walks, struck out 3. Swing and a miss to the pinch hitter, 1-2. Vasquez looking to pick up her 6th win on the season, which would equal her total from 2022 when she went 6-14 in her first year with the Gold and Black. High and away. Vasquez is the best she's pitched in her last few seasons, dating back to her time when she was recruited by Coach Gillespie at UCF and actually ended up playing for Unites head coach Cindy Ball Malone. Swing and a miss, and down goes the pinch hitter Murphy on strikes. Strikeout number 4 for Vasquez. Hasn't needed to strike out as many hitters like she had in her previous 3 starts. She recorded a total of 25 Ks in her last 3 starts, going 3-0. Had 7 in the win versus Chattanooga yesterday. Inside ball 1. Kate Bade. Hey, that's one of the 4 base hits, a leadoff single in the 3rd. Takes that from Vasquez for a strike to even up the count. Vasquez, her 2 starts here in the Sunshine State, has only allowed 2 base runners to reach scoring position, both of them today versus Princeton. Looking for her 4th straight win on the year, and gets 1 pitch closer and is ahead 1-2. The 1-2. Fouls that one back, hits off the hole directly in front of us. Hawkeye fans taking in the scenery and enjoying the results that they've seen so far. Another 1-2 for Vasquez. Breaking ball, high, pop up. Will it be Baines? It will be. 2 outs for Vasquez and the Hawkeye defense in the top of the 5th. And we'll see our first at bat this afternoon of the sophomore catcher Lauren Pappert.
If you already did it, what was your stat prediction? What was your MVP?
Pappert this year 2 for 7 with an RBI. Swings at the first pitch right to center field and Roman. And Vasquez retires the Tigers in order in the top of the 5th. That caught stealing by Vasquez from Foe to end the 4th, and she has been in cruise control ever since. On to the Iowa 5th. Hawkeyes still leading 4-0. This is Iowa softball from Learfield. We go to the bottom of the 5th. Tori Bennett, Denali Lecker, and Sammy Diaz coming up for the Hawkeyes as they lead 4-0 over the Princeton Tigers. Victor Anderson back here with you on this Saturday afternoon in the paradise they call Madeira Beach, Florida, here in the Hawkeye Radio Network from Learfield. Glad that you're spending your Saturday with us. Bennett leading off, singled and scored in the 3rd, also struck out. Bennett takes that outside, ball 1. Bennett came into this weekend reaching base safely in 9 straight games, second best in the team behind Nia Carter, who came in reaching safely in 11 straight games. Takes that outside, ball 2. And that goes in for a call, a strike. Bennett saw that streak come to an end yesterday, going 0 for 3 versus South Alabama. Good looking pitch by the left-handed sophomore Brielle Wright. Bennett trying to reach base to the 2-strike count, and she will do so. So Tori Bennett with a nice piece of hitting with 2 strikes. And another leadoff runner for the Hawkeyes here in the 5th. Iowa's getting leadoff base hits in 3 of the 5 innings they played. Ironically enough, they have not scored in either inning when they've gotten a leadoff runner on. Here comes Denali Lecker. She's 0 for 2. Hit a sky ball to center field, and if not for the wind knocking it down, would have had her 6th home run of the season back in the 3rd. That's down low the knees. 2 balls, no strikes to Lecker. Got a feeling if Lecker gets a hold of that one and the win it's to her favor, that one's going to clear center field, may end up on a stage at the amphitheater just beyond where we are. And Lecker's ahead to right 3-0. Laura Murphy staying in the game for the Tigers, taking over at first base. So the Tiger infield is Murphy, Bay, Jackson, Dumays. The out infield from first to third. We give it a full Princeton alignment after the 3-0. This is in for strike one. Outfield remains unchanged. Haas, Sablone, and Starks, the outfield from right to left. Pepper doing the catching right in the circle for Princeton. Lecker count still in her favor. 3-1. Sends that to center field. Back goes Sablone, and that one will clear the track. And that one is gone. Big fly for Danelli Lecker. Her 6th home run of the season. And the Hawkeyes add on to their lead. It is 6-0. We had a feeling if Lecker got a hold of one, that would carry a little bit further, and the win was to her benefit that time, almost to the exact same spot where that ball was caught in the third. But Lecker clears the fence, her 6th home run of the season, now with 25 runs driven in, and it's a 6-0 Hawkeye advantage. So now bring it to the plate Sammy Diaz. Diaz has reached base twice on walks, scored in the second. Takes that one outside for ball one. And the way Brianna Vasquez has been pitching this afternoon, misses outside ball two. And I'll warn a trip out to the circle for Lisa Van Akron, the Princeton head coach, to talk to her sophomore southpaw, Bria Wright. Versus 6 games the Hawkeyes will play this here in Madeira Beach between now and Tuesday afternoon. They'll have a Tuesday morning tilt versus Lafayette to close out their time at the spring games. Have a couple days off for some team bonding activities, and then they will head their way up US 19 and 275 to participate in the South Florida Showdown. We'll add action for you there on the Hawkeye Radio Network. First pitch on Friday morning, 9 a.m. local time, 8 a.m. Central Time. So get your coffee, get your caffeine sources, and get ready for Iowa softball 2 times on Friday morning here at the Hawkeye Radio Network. That one misses outside for ball 3. Something I don't recall of seeing. You got a left-handed pitcher in right and a left-handed catcher in Pepper. Now we'll catch over the letters of the Iowa uniforms. Hawkeyes wearing the gold uniforms today. Iowa in black trimmed with white. Hawkeyes serving as the home team on the third base dugout. Princeton in the orange tops, black pants. Princeton in black trimmed with white. Tigers in the first base side of the field. Diaz swinging on the 3-1. Swings on the 3-1 and will sail behind some fans along the foul line in the right field. And we'll have a full count. Full count for Sammy Diaz. Hawkeyes up 6-0 in the top bottom of the 5th. Diaz chops that one. Could be a tough play for Bade, and she does shovel it over to Murphy in time. 1 down in the Iowa 5th. So on the way, here comes Grace Baines. Baines continuing a strong start to her time in Florida. 2 for 2 today. Doubled and scored in the second, singled in the third. Baines takes that for a strike. Baines has seen the ball very well her 3 games right now. Has increased her average to 288 in their trip so far here in Florida. And Baines will hit that one a little bit too good as Ha comes in, makes the catch, and Baines retire for the first time this afternoon. 2 down for Iowa here in the 5th. So 2 down for Avery Jackson. Got the scoring started with a 2-run single in the second. Takes that for strike 1. I mentioned during the prior to that at bat with a 2-run single, they feel Jackson was just close to trying to getting herself off that schneid that she's been in so far this season. Underneath that one, and just off the reach of Bade. Murphy had it, but again, you don't have a lot of foul room to work with. So you have to make up your mind very quickly to see if you're, particularly if you're a corner infielder, if you're going to go full bore or kind of back off a little bit and give your second baseman or shortstop a chance to make the play, or maybe your right, left, or right fielder. Right will ask for a fresher softball for a home plate umpire. No balls, 2 strikes to Avery Jackson. 2 down here in the Iowa 5th. Hawkeyes up 6-0. Hawkeyes looking to make it 3 in a row here in Florida to start their spring break trip. Jackson with a good swing, fouls that one back over to the right. Hawkeyes will have one more matchup today versus Lehigh. And we'll wrap up the weekend tomorrow versus Bucknell. 11:30 local time, 10:30 Central time. We'll be on the air for you at 11:15 Florida time on the Hawkeye Radio Network. Hops, one hop in front. Nice stop by Papper before and then going away to the right shoulder. Less than 2 weeks away before Big Ten play starts for the Hawkeyes, and it will travel to College Station to take on Bailey Parshaw and Penn State. We're off to a good start this season. Jackson back to right. Low throw, but gets it there to Murphy. And Jackson is retired 1-3, and down go the Hawkeyes in the 5th. But Denali Lecker hits her 6th home run of the year. Her 2-run shot to get the Hawkeyes 2 more tallies on the board. 2 runs, 2 hits, nobody left on base. 5 innings in the books in Madeira Beach. Hawkeyes 6, Tigers nothing. This is Iowa softball from Learfield. Victor Anderson welcoming you back to Madeira Beach, Florida. Iowa in command of Princeton on this Saturday afternoon. 6-0 as you go into the top of the sixth, and the top of the order coming up for the Tigers and Serena Starks, Allison Ha, and Julia DeMace, as we see Coach Van Ackeren walk past our broadcast position to attend to her post in the third base box. Brianna Vasquez back to work in the circle for the Hawkeyes, and she has pitched a beauty this afternoon. Scattered 4 hits in 5 innings, no walks, 1 strikeout on 60 pitches. 42 for strikes. Looking to pick up her 4th straight victory, her 6th in this season, which would equal her total from all of last year. Outside for ball 1. Now gets on the paints on the outside edge for a strike to even up the count. Correction Vasquez looking for her 4th straight win, her 6th of the season. Her lone blemish came against NC State in the ACC Big Ten Challenge back in February 18th. Up in the zone by Starks, 1-2. Went 8 innings, gave up 5 hits, 3 runs, walked 3, struck out 6. And the 3-1 loss to the Wolfpack. Got knocked around her next outing versus Syracuse. That came in relief. And Katz gets on the corner for strike 3. Starks goes down looking. Make it 5 Ks for the Hawkeyes hurler. 1 down into 6. Vasquez in her last 3 starts has pitched 19 innings. Has allowed, coming into the day as she pitched a strike to Hoff, it's allowed 6 hits and 18 innings of work, 1 earned run. It's walked 6 and has struck out 23. Add 4 more hits and 5 more strikeouts in 5 1/3 innings this afternoon. Ha gets underneath that one to center. Ball's carrying, and Roman is right there, makes the catch for out number 2. Roman had to get a late jump, but still makes the catch just in front of the temporary fencing at ROC Park. 2 down in the Princeton 6. We got the third baseman, Julia DeMace. DeMace has 1 on the 4 hits. She singled off of Vasquez in the first. Popped up to Diaz in the third. Pops up that first pitch, and that one will carry foul on the field number 2. She's nice to not have to worry about foul balls on our end for once. I say that right now, and then there'll be a, watch what will happen. There'll be a foul ball that comes over our way during the Lehigh game. That was up and inside. Two outs on the top of the 6. That one goes a little bit high. You hear that one bang on the netting in front of us. Two balls and a strike to Dumace. 2 outs here in the 6th. Vasquez looking for her 11th straight scoreless inning in Florida and is 1 pitch away from doing so. Count is even 2-2. Two gets underneath that one. Another pop-up. This time will be Baines calls off Diaz and makes the catch. Brianna Vasquez has now retired 7 straight batters she has faced. Another 3-out, 3-down inning for Vasquez. Will head to the home 6. Hawkeyes will look to end proceedings early, up 6-0. This is Iowa softball from Learfield.
13. And then the 9 spot, 17 for 33.
Thank you.
Back here in Madeira Beach, gonna have a pair of pinch hitters leading off for the Hawkeyes in the 6th. It'll be Tristan Doster leading things off for the Hawkeyes. And then behind her will be Anna Streff. So it'll be Doster, Streff, and Carter. 8-9-1 for Coach Renee Gillespie. Hawkeyes up 6-0. Doster takes that in for strike one. Doster got the start versus Chattanooga yesterday. Went 1 for 2 of a run scored and an RBI. Now hitting .333 in the season, 6 of 18 with 3 RBIs. Takes that outside for a ball. Doster, we saw, mentioned get the start versus Chattanooga. We'll likely see her against Lehigh coming up shortly. As once again playing back-to-back games in Madeira Beach. Doster gets underneath that and will almost caught by Murphy. Murphy had the ball right there on the glove. Just kept in and out of it. Right in relief, 4 and 2 in the third innings, 4 hits, 2 runs. Those runs coming off the Lecker home run. And picks up her first strikeout. Just past 1 o'clock local time here in Madeira Beach. Victor Anderson, glad that you're with us here on the Hawkeye Radio Network from Learfield. A couple hours away from Hawkeye baseball. Looking to bounce back after a tough loss last night versus Texas Tech in Lubbock. First pitch ground ball over by the pin. And Dumaine stows over to Murphy, and that will quickly retire the pinch hitter Anna Streff. So 2 down, and Iowa's half of the 6. And we'll go back to the leadoff hitter. Back to her Nia Carter. Carter extended her hitting streak to 8 straight games and her on-base streak to 14 straight with a loop single in the first. Her 14-game on-base streak is now the longest for a Hawkeye this season, surpassing Denali Lecker's 13 straight games of reaching base safely. Out one sails away to the lefty. Count is even 1-1. Carter coming into the day hitting an even 500 with 7 RBIs. So we'll see the average drop just a little bit today with the 1-3 performance. And here could, almost a collision, but it'll be Papper coming in front of Dumaine to make the catch, and that ends the inning for Iowa. So the Hawkeyes go down 1-2-3 in a traditional fashion. Vasquez and the Hawkeyes 3 outs away from picking home their 3rd straight win in Florida. 6 complete, Hawkeyes 6. Princeton nothing. This is Iowa softball from Learfield. Brandon Vasquez will go back to work. Looking for the complete game shutout here in the top of the 7. Hawkeyes leading 6-0. Victor Anderson, glad that you're with us here on the Hawkeye Radio Network from Learfield. Vasquez looking to pick up her 4th straight win and equal her win total from a year ago. She'll have Chang, Jackson, Sablon, 4, 5, 6 coming up. And Chang with a bomb of foul over the batting cages beyond left field. Vasquez has not allowed a base hit since the Grace Jackson single in the 4th. Had first and second and 1 out. She struck out Lauren Sablon, and then Jackson got caught stealing on a great throw by Skyland Fogg to end the inning, and Princeton has not allowed a base runner 6. Tristan Dostert stays in the game show due to catching. Ground ball, nice scoop over at third by Avery Jackson. Throw was high, but Diaz keeps the foot on the bag for out number 1. So Iowa 2 outs away from picking up their 3rd straight victory here in Madeira Beach. Here comes the aforementioned Grace Jackson. Pitch inside, followed by Bennett. Throw to first, and they'll say she's safe. Jackson hustling all the way. That second bobble by Bennett allowed Jackson to beat out that throw. So it'll be an infield single for Grace Jackson. And it's a string of 8 straight retired, and we'll see a pinch hitter for Sablon in their part of the order. It'll be Caitlin
Thank you.
Caitlin Bish will come up. Bish, a junior from Lancaster. She swings at the first pitch, and that one will be into the waiting glove of Roman, coming over from center in front of Carter and Baines. So 2 down. So 2 down, it'll be up to Lauren Murphy. Murphy takes that outside, ball 1. Vasquez looking for her first complete game shutout this season. Pitched 6 innings in a shutout versus Stony Brook. Pitched 5 innings yesterday versus Chattanooga. Vasquez this afternoon now at 78 pitches. Pitch number 79 coming up. 2 outs and a runner on first. Hawkeyes up 6-0. Gets another strike. Now 1-2. One ball and 2 strikes. Vasquez on a precipice of equaling her win total from last year and picking up her 4th straight win. The 1-2 pitch. Upstairs, 2 balls, 2 strikes. Pitch number 81 for Vasquez, looking to put the Bulls on a masterpiece. This is away, 3-2. Full count, 3 balls and 2 strikes. with Murphy, and Bade would come up next for Princeton, and Murphy can keep this game going. Payout pitch for Vasquez. Here it comes. Pops it up. Should end it. Jackson in front of the Iowa dugout. She makes the catch. And the Hawkeyes come away with the shutout victory as they knock off Princeton 6-0 to start day 2 here at the spring games. Iowa comes away with the victory 6-0. Iowa with 6 runs on 9 hits. No errors, they leave 4. Princeton, no runs, 5 hits, 1 error. They strand 4. Brenda Vasquez picks up the victory, her 4th straight. She's now 6-1 of the season. Loudon Slacker picks up the loss. She falls to 1-5 on the year. Princeton falls to 3 up and 8 down on the season. Iowa improves to 14-8, winners of 3 in a row. And the Hawkeyes will have a little extra time before they get ready for their next matchup versus Lehigh, which will take place at 2 p.m. local time, 1 p.m. Central. We'll be on the air with you at 1:45 local time here from Adara Beach to recap what we saw here today and get you ready for the Hawkeyes versus the Mountain Hawks, as Iowa looks to make it 4 for 4 here in the spring games and continue their successful start to their spring break trip.